Bartholomew Kuma. To the world, he was a tyrant, a monster, a government weapon with no soul. A man-turned machine, stripped of everything, his body, his freedom, his name. But the world only saw the surface. What they didn't see was the little boy who once cried under the stars, praying for the pain to stop. Kuma's story doesn't begin with power. It begins with pain. As a child, Kuma lived in a land ruled by fear, the Sorbet Kingdom, a place where the poor were crushed under the boots of the rich. He was born into suffering. His parents were slaves, forced to serve the celestial dragons, treated worse than animals. Kuma grew up watching his father get whipped, his mother dragged by the hair, their humanity stripped away. He was just a boy, yet he already knew what it meant to feel helpless. One day, he saw his parents taken away, and they never came back. Alone, hungry, broken, he survived by sheer will. But what saved him wasn't hate, it was hope. A dream that one day, no child would have to live like he did. That one day, no one would be treated as less than human. Kuma's massive body, his terrifying strength, these weren't gifts. They were forged through hardship. He was bullied, hunted, and feared because of his power, but he never used it to harm the weak. Even as a child, he protected others, kids like him who were scared, starving, and unwanted. That's who Kuma really was. Not a tyrant, not a weapon, but a gentle soul who carried everyone else's pain. When he grew older, he joined the Revolutionary Army. He fought alongside Dragon, not for fame, not for glory, but because he had seen the worst the world could offer, and he refused to stand by. He became a king, yes, a real king of the Sorbet Kingdom. But instead of building walls, he opened his gates. He gave food to the poor, homes to the homeless. He brought peace to the land that once crushed him. But peace never lasts long in a world ruled by monsters. The world government branded him a threat. They gave him a choice: surrender or watch his kingdom burn. And Kuma made a choice only the strongest hearts could make. He gave himself up. He agreed to become a Pacifista, a living weapon, to have his body, his memories, his identity erased. Why? Not for himself, not even for his people, but for his daughter, Jewelry Bonnie, his little girl, the only family he had left. He knew that if he refused, she would be taken, experimented on, or worse. So he signed away his life, his future, for her safety. And what did the world do in return? They made him a slave. They mocked him, beat him, forced him to carry celestial dragons like a pet. An emperor reduced to a mule. But Kuma didn't fight back, not once, because deep inside his heart was still his, the part they couldn't steal. He endured the pain, the humiliation, the silence, because he knew that every second he suffered, someone else was safe. His kingdom was safe. His daughter was safe. And then came that moment when Luffy and his crew were about to be destroyed. No one expected a lifeless robot to save them, but Kuma remembered. He remembered what it meant to be human. He risked everything to scatter the straw hats across the world, to give them another chance. Not because he was ordered to, but because his heart, buried beneath steel and scars, still beat with kindness. Kuma teaches us that strength isn't about power. It's about sacrifice. It's about losing everything, your family, your freedom, your body, and still choosing love. Still choosing to protect others when no one protects you. In our own lives, we often feel beaten down by bills, by rejection, by loneliness. We carry pain no one sees. Just like Kuma did, we suffer quietly, sometimes wondering if it's even worth it. But Kuma's story tells us, yes, it is. Because in a world that takes so much from us, The one thing we must never let go of is our heart. You can lose your job, you can lose your reputation, you can be betrayed, broken, forgotten, but don't lose your ability to care. Don't lose your humanity. Don't let the world turn you into something you're not. Because even if you lose everything, if your heart stays kind, you win. Just like Kuma, a man who was called a tyrant, but died a hero in silence. So remember this: when the world tries to crush your soul, hold your heart. Because in the end, that's what makes you unbreakable.